Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Tech Niche Tips. I'm your host, Joseph M. Smith, and we got another one for you. And like my brother Trey always says,
Listen, man, the number one morning show for the tech industry in the world. Talk
numero
that
uno,
tech.
Talk
Yes,
That
indeed.
Tech. Welcome to
Yes.
the first Monday in December. Is that correct? I think it is. Yes, it is. The
It's
first Monday
beginning to look a lot like Christmas, man. Not actually,
everywhere,
actually, I
though.
just actually I just wanted to say that. It's really not here in Texas, bro. It's not.
Really? No?
Man, it's like 60 degrees, man. 70 degrees.
It's a warm Christmas. It's a warm Christmas. It's almost like a. Is it still kind of hot though? Like in the sense of like a dry heat. Like what kind of heat are you experiencing out there?
Bro, if you're doing something like you're probably gonna start, perspirating a little bit if you're out there, if you're doing a brisk run or walk or something like that, you're gonna perspirate, man. It's like I said, it's starting to get down. Yesterday it was 70. The rest of the week is like 66. So it's not freezing. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like
it up there.
I had on shorts yesterday evening, bro. Let's put it like that.
Ooh, that's a good times. That's a good times, man. Let the good times roll. Let's do a little roll call though. Let's see who's in the building right now. I have Darcel. Good morning, Darcel. Glad to see that you are here. I got Mitch. Mitch is keeping it live. Good morning. Good morning. He said good morning to all. And I
Run
got
it up, run it up.
I got, of course, on his way to work, Mr. Operation Tech Takeover. What up, sir? Glad to see y'all in the building. Glad to see y'all in the building. So I'm definitely gonna have a really great show today. And I wanted just to kind of I got Chef. What up? Good morning, good morning, good morning, fam. Good to
Good
see you
morning.
here. Yeah, so go ahead if you have not already, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to either my channel or Tech Bags Trade channel. And we would love to see you on the show. Remember, we always have these call-in shows, so go ahead and call in, and we could have this conversation about anything we talk about. So, with that being said, man, we're gonna have a really good one. I believe it's gonna be really fantastic. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually start off with the question of the morning. All right, imagine you no
Mhm.
longer have to work. How would you spend a Tuesday? How would you spend a Tuesday if you didn't have to work any longer?
Interesting.
Interesting, right?
Interesting.
Let's see
Yeah,
what
no,
you.
I
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
that. No, I was just saying I like that, man.
Yeah. So we want to see what you got in the comment section below. What would you do if you didn't have to longer work? What would you do on a Tuesday? You wake up. What's the first thing that you do? Um, to
What
be
you got,
honest,
Joseph?
yeah, to be honest with you, I'm thinking about it right now. If I woke up and it was a Tuesday, I probably have to make sure the kids are good, of course. But if the kids are good, and because we homeschool, so if the kids are, we're straight, what we probably might do is we might have a trip booked that day. And we're probably going to be going someplace, whether it's a zoo, whether it's a farm, going to a farm, something kind of educational that, would be a fun experience. Uh, but because we don't have to work, right? And I'm assuming
Mhm.
that money is not an object, we probably might take a trip somewhere. Like let's fly somewhere. you know, and
Yeah.
probably the rest and probably either make it like a day trip, or we just take the whole week and we're going someplace like to the Louvre in France or whatever the case may be, or going to a part of maybe Kenya or something for the week. Something that's kind of like educational, something that could be immersive. Because I love experiences, and I think experiences are great teachers. And so that's kind of like what I would do if money was no object. I wasn't working. I'd probably try to spend my Tuesday, which kind of bleeds into the rest of my week that way. What about you?
Nah, I like that. I like that, bro. Like you went in on that one. I I was total opposite, bro. I was thinking, I was like, oh wait, okay. So they saying we literally just off on a Tuesday, no work
No work.
and all that. So now I might change it, but I'm gonna keep it the same just for this purposes. Bro, I'm gonna wake up. I'm probably going to get me some water, right? Get that good water in, pray a little
Agua.
bit, all that kind of stuff, right? But
Yeah.
for real, man, I was just thinking, I'm probably just going. I'm gonna just ride around a little bit. You know, hey, I need to go act like I got errands to run. Then I'm gonna, go run some errands real quick. Stop by the post office, just check it. No, it's nothing in there, but I'm gonna check it anyway. Now I'm gonna come back to the house. I'm gonna pop on some YouTube, man. I'm gonna get some learning action on. I might take a nap. I might take a nap. And yeah, then later on that evening, man, me and my wife would go get some. Well, probably at lunchtime we'll go get some. Then at what we got, dinner. No,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna give her some lunch, and then I'm heading out to the golf course. I'm heading out to the golf course for another 4 hours, just hitting the ball around. Don't care. And then I'm coming. Then I'll come home. We'll get some dinner. That's what I got, bro.
That don't sound so bad. I mean, that's a good use of a day. In fact, I got somebody that agrees with you in the comments section. But I'm gonna go to Mitch first. He says I probably hit up Maldives for a while.
Ooh
So
wee,
like he's like me, man. He's like, let's listen. I
y'all
might make this
gone.
a trip of this. Yeah, we
Yeah.
far gone, far gone. And then I have Darcel that also says golf, video game, grill, steak, take a daughter for ice cream and park, take wife to Barnes and Nobles. Like he really has a day carved out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, that's where the golf thing comes into play, right?
That's a full day right there, bro.
If it was the weekend, it would be a trip. During the week, keep it simple. Yeah, yeah, I got you. I got you. I respect that. I respect that. And Trey is on his big crit vibes cruising.
Crizzle.
Crizzle. Oh man, yeah. So keep
Nah,
it
yeah, that's
going.
for real.
Yeah, man. Keep it rolling, man. We love to hear what you guys have to say. That's why we created this show. Is this very to make it extremely interactive, so that we could hear what your thoughts are, and then we can share it, and then we can talk about it. Right. So this is exactly what we want to do. So thank you so much, y'all, for getting rocking with us. And like I mentioned before, we have a show on us today. We have quite the show, and we're going to be talking about the topic that really kind of rolled up. Uh, to us this weekend, of all things. But before I do that, I got one more comment here. Chef Shah says, my Tuesday prayer, gym, flight to El Salvador, 3.5
Mm,
hours. She even knows how long it's going to take to get there. I love
no
that.
time.
Enjoy the locals and cuisine. Come back to get ready for Wednesday. Woo! She is not.
That's life. I will say one of my little bucket list things is to do that, man. I wanna fly a few hours away just to get some of the best dessert in somebody's state and then come
Mm,
back. I'm talking about
yeah,
just for dinner and dessert, and then I'm back. But it's a way, you never know. But that's something I'd like to do.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So, in regards to today's topic, one of the today's topics, it's an unfortunate one, but we got to bring it up because it's one that's very interesting. What happened recently with the controversy with DevTernity Tech Conference? It was canceled after a fake woman speaker controversy. Now, if you're not
Mm,
aware of DevTernity is a big conference for software developers. And unfortunately, there was quite the situation here. I'm going to run through it real quick, and then I'm gonna let my brother Trey chime in, of course, and talk about it. But basically, DevTernity is a tech conference. It was canceled because it was following a scandal involving fabricated female speaker profiles. Like high-profile tech executives, including Microsoft and former Google advocates, withdrew from the event because of this. Organizer, I believe his name is pronounced Edwards, has confirmed the cancellation, citing an attempt to damage the conference. Basically, this is like, hey, y'all are hating. What are you guys canceling the conference for? He actually claims in the article that I read that basically it was canceled, that those profiles were corrected because created was one, because they were doing some testing on the site, and then two, it was also created because somebody canceled and they wanted to fill that spot. And anyway, he admitted to create the fake female profiles, and as placeholders after a speaker dropped out. So he admitted this. The issue came to light after a tech newsletter pointed out the fake profile, sparking widespread outcry. The incident highlights ongoing challenges in achieving diversity in the tech industry, where women comprise 29% of the workforce. Nearly half of the listed speakers had withdrawn before the conference's cancellation. And this scandal has raised concerns about the authenticity and treatment of women in tech. And representatives from the companies like Atlassian and Just Eat Takeaway also canceled their appearances. So this was widespread of like everybody like peace, we're out. Um, and the situation described as unprecedented in the decades-long history of tech conferences. I'm not too sure if you guys heard about that recently about this situation. It's an unfortunate one. Yeah, Trey, what are your thoughts on this before we
Bro,
kind of
that's
dive
crazy.
deeper in?
That's crazy. I mean, I'll be the first one to say it. Look, I've never heard of DevTernity, man. And here's the thing: looks like we'll never hear of it again. So
Hey,
he's
man.
out of there. I'll also say this, man. You see this hat? You see this hat? I'm
Yeah.
calling Cap. That's Cap, man. He knew exactly what he was doing. Okay.
Mm,
He knows right now. I mean, for sure, in my eyes, anyways, women are
yeah.
always look, they got the juice. All right. But
Mm,
seriously, here in society, hey, women are doing their thing, man. And he knows that. And he knew he needed some
mm,
women on that panel so that he could bring them out, right? And he lied, man. He lied.
mm,
And if this is not his first time doing that, he knew exactly what he was doing, and
hmm,
he just got caught. He got caught with his pants down, and it's a wrap.
mm,
I mean, I hate it, right? Like I'm not
yeah.
really, um, I'm not one to say, oh man, he deserved. It's just, I think he probably wanted like these super high level people, and what he could have just done was found other folks. Like it's not,
Good point.
it's not hard. There are a boatload of people who would love to speak on a stage. Like, and they all, people who have credentials or people who know that specific space. He could have
Yeah.
found someone else. He did not have to uh, lie about it. He could have sent out a video. He could have made a quick video on his phone for social media saying, "Yo, we had some folks drop out. Is
SOS.
art, yeah, like, yo, I need some really great women individual speakers in this space. Y'all, if
Yeah.
you know somebody or if you're watching, hit me up. We would love to have you on. I guarantee
Yeah.
you he would have had enough by the end of that day. He wouldn't have had to create fake profiles, and they would have got the stuff going. But yeah, he blew it. He blew it, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
It's
it's yeah.
real quick,
Go,
bro. Real
go
quick.
ahead.
Today, bro, we live in a society where today is just, you can't be doing that, man. It's too easy
Mm,
to get, like, even crime. I don't know why they're still doing crazy crimes. I mean, there's
you
cameras
get
everywhere,
caught.
bro. There's
Yeah.
cameras everywhere. This is not 1800s or 1902. Like you getting caught in 4K, man. You getting caught in 4K.
You're getting locked up and they won't let you out.
Mm-mm.
And not just I'm not talking about like a physical prison. They're talking about the prison of public opinion. That's the hardest one to get out of. When
Mm-hmm.
something like that happens, it really kind of messed things up. But like you said, you actually alluded to it. He actually did this before. This was not the first time it happened. It just this is the time that it was really kind of like noticeable. And it's unfortunate because, like you said, there's so many people that you could reach out to, so many women, and that are killing it in this space that for whatever reason, or just be honest, be like, hey, like you said, be honest, somebody couldn't make it, where unfortunately we need somebody to fill that spot. I don't know what happened on the back end, with that, but it's unfortunate because a lot of people have, honestly, the credibility of this going forward has been affected. But yeah, that article was actually taken from fortune.com, Fortune magazine. So a lot of people have been talking about this recently, and unfortunately, this happened. I'm actually going to a conference this week, so I'm looking forward to it. Thanksgiving, it should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking at that roster. There's a lot of women
Yeah.
speakers.
Listen, man.
Is There's a lot of people
They
speaking,
own.
but and a lot of women speaking. So shout out to all the women who are representing in this field. We love and appreciate y'all. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this before we kind of move on with the show? Was the conference owner wrong for fabricating female speaker profiles
Mm.
and filling those spots? We would love to hear your thoughts on that. And shout out to those that are saying good morning, good morning, good morning. I got good morning from Tech Coach Ralph. I got good morning. Good morning, brother. Oh yeah,
Morning.
go ahead and click that link because he's coming on soon. Good morning, Tiffany as well. Good morning.
Good morning.
Uh, he said, "Oh, what happened in 1902?"
I don't know. You know what popped in my head when I said 1902? It was like Al Capone them or something, like, you know, with the Tommy guns. I don't know. They was robbing and stealing. They was robbing and stealing, bro. They had nobody there. That's
You know what's bad? Back in those days, you knew who was robbing and stealing back in those days. Like, oh
that's
yeah,
true.
there he goes again. He in the
Couldn't
bank for
do
the
nothing
first.
about it.
Yeah, it was a different world, you know. Then we have a good morning from America's new. I appreciate that. Good morning, America's new morning show. I love that. I love that. Thank you for the support. Jump on
Yes,
the YouTube
indeed.
side and subscribe as well. And then we got actually one of the responses. It says definitely wrong. So if you went, none of these speakers would have been there. Like, think about it. Like, if you have
Trifling.
gone thinking that this person was going to be there, you showed up and you're like, wait a second, no, this is AI. It's not a real person. Like, how would you, like, you have been like, give me my money back? Like, that's wrong. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. They wouldn't have been there, man. It's cold as ice.
It's cold as ice. That, and unfortunately, he was willing to sacrifice. Yeah. So back to the question, though, for everybody who didn't see the question, was the conference owner wrong for fabricating female speaker profiles? That's the question that we're definitely going to be talking about. And I actually do have a guest that we're going to be talking to today. And it's none other than Tech Coach Ralph. And I'm bringing him to the stage right now. What up, Tech Coach Ralph? How you doing, brother?
What's
Yo,
up, guys? How's it going?
It's going
going great,
good.
man.
Oh,
Going
man.
great.
I don't know if you missed the part where we are talking about this story prior to you coming on.
I heard the tail end of it when something about inviting fake women speakers or something like that to a
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just gonna hit the couple of points here, but basically, DevTernity Tech Conference, which is supposed to be a very big conference for software developers, the founder was literally putting in the profiles and creating fake profiles of women speakers, and he said it because some of the speakers dropped out. I don't know how far it went. I think it was to the point of creating like LinkedIn profiles and stuff like that, you know, to basically say this person is going to be speaking, but obviously they weren't real. And so sponsors got a whiff of this, some tech executives that work for Microsoft and Google, and they're like, I'm out. As well as other sponsors, just eat takeaway is one of them. And they're like, yeah, we're not doing this. Other speakers dropped. It was a mess.
So, I mean, this is nothing new, right? Scamming has been since the beginning of time. So,
Yeah.
people are always going to try to find a way to um, get one up, right? So,
The jig is
yeah,
up.
not surprised.
Yeah, and but the thing we were talking about is like, listen, especially people of color, there are a lot of women that are killing it in various spheres of influence. You could have tried to find somebody else. You know what I mean? And it's not like this is the according to the article, it's not like this is the first time. This has happened a couple times, but this is the time where it got exposed.
So, here's a question, though, right? Was whoever was doing it, right? Are they willing to pay their speakers? Because sometimes they're trying to get people to come, but they don't want to pay their talent. So,
True.
like in every other, like the music industry, they don't want to pay their talent, whatever, you know.
Very true.
Just scamming all the way around. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, it was cold as ice. Cold as ice. Oh, you got somebody that said I connected with Tech Coach Ralph, like you suggested last week. And he gave me a lot of gems. He's a pleasant to communicate with. Oh, that's Tiffany. You must be Rebel. This must be Rebel, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it
What up,
had to
Billy
be.
Rebel? What up, Billy
Had
Rebel?
to be.
So glad you followed through. We appreciate that
Yeah.
because
Honestly, like she reached out to me like within an hour of you mentioning it, and we've been talking like last week, giving her some ideas, some pointers. So I'm trying to help her out to get to that next step.
yeah,
Taking action. Taking act. He said within an hour, y'all. That was keys right there.
Yep.
come on.
How much information do we get and don't use none of it?
That's true.
Got notebooks full of stuff, going all this stuff, never use it.
Never.
An hour. Oh, I love that. That's crazy.
Yeah, success loves speed. And so that's awesome that you
Period.
did that. Oh, I apologize, Nikolai. Yeah, I'm terrible with names. So if you're new to the show, I apologize. But thank you so much for correcting me, Nikolai. And then Operation Tech Takeover says they watched Janky Promoters one too many times, thought they could get away with it. Oh, that is hilarious. That is
Hey,
hilarious.
Janky Promoters is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
That's a funny movie, man.
Oh man. But this is gonna be a great conversation. Thank you so much for joining us, Tech Coach Ralph. We're gonna have a great conversation about a particular topic that both Trey, well, actually, before Tech Coach Ralph and I talked about it, Trey and I talked about this as well, and it was something that I thought was a good conversation to have, especially with what your opinion was on the subject. And so we're going to definitely do this just for the sake of conversation and just for the sake of getting people's thoughts and opinions on this. Uh, in regards to this particular topic, which is resumes versus networking. And the question I would say is, which one is more important? Is it the resume
Mm.
more important or the networking more important? And so I would love to obviously hear your opinion on this. I'm gonna give the floor to our guest first. And Trey, you could always chime in there later and say your thoughts, and I'll probably finish with some thoughts, and we'll hear from the audience on this one.
For sure.
All right, cool. So I am going to take the position that the resume is more important because
Ooh.
that is your, how would I say it? It's what people get to, it's like your business card, right? For wherever you're going. Um, Back in the days, right? You'd be walking around, you're like, oh, here's my business card. And then you start talking about yourself. But how many times you go to somewhere and you see like a bunch of flyers, business cards? That's their resume for that event. That's their resume for themselves. If it's a business card for their company, all that stuff. Even adding, right, on your link, like when somebody sends you a message on LinkedIn, right, which is a networking platform, what's the first thing you do once you get that connection, that request, whatever? I personally, I click on their profile and I go and I check their online digital resume. Same thing if you're like one of those dating websites, right? That is their resume about them that you're going to check out before you have any interaction with them. So that's why I would take the position of the resume is the more important. I don't know if it's the most important, but it's more important because that is the first contact.
I think it's a great point. Very interesting. I love to hear what Trey has because I know we talked about it before we started the show. So, Trey, wanted you to say your opinion before I chimed in.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I do. I love what he said, but personally, I have to go on the other side, bro. I gotta go on the other side. I think networking is, if you have one and they're strong, right? Like, hey, I got a strong resume, I got a strong networking. I gotta go with networking. I personally believe that knowing individuals, or the most important part, individuals who know you, is the most important piece, because if you know the right people, there's nothing you can get done that you can't get done. And just to, I mean, bring it out, like, there are plenty of people who, hey, because my dad is who he is, I just slid right into the position. Like, sight unseen, hey, your dad, oh, that's him. His reputation got him in the door, or her in the door, and didn't have to do diddly squat. So I mean, when you think about that, or like all these, I mean, just even in general, hey, I don't have any connection to this person, but because we reached out, we have connected, we are friends now, right? Now something comes up. Hey man, do y'all have any positions at your job? I just got laid off, whatever the case may be. Hey, I got you. Let me put in a word. Next thing you know, somebody's reaching out to you through the email, and then you can, kind of get in. So I'm, if you, like you said, hey, resumes, they work and they're good for sure if you have nothing like that. But if you got connections, or you can build connections, you know how to do that, it is priceless. Because there's multiple doors. I know we're gonna stay on, like, I guess, the work side, but even outside of work, man, the right mechanics. Hey, it don't matter what you got going on. But anyway, I'll stop there.
All right.
No,
So I would
go
I would
ahead.
I would ask like, all right, so if you have the right mechanics, but you're checking that mechanic's history, their resume of, because that recommendation that they're getting, right? It's based on something that they did. It's not just because, oh, I know a mechanic, and you stop it as that. Like, well, tell me about the mechanic. What is it that they did? Like, what did they do for you that you're recommending? Like, if it's, oh, my cousin's a mechanic. Okay, so what? That's how I see it, at least. I'm like, but
So
also being from QA, I question everything. So that's
I,
like that
I,
aspect as
I
well.
was, yeah, I was just about to say, bro, because I mean, the for me, it's the source. So who's the source? So if it's the right person for me, I don't gotta check nothing. I know you're not doing anything to harm me. I'm just if you say, hey, I got a mechanic that, hey man, if I tell you, hey, I got a problem with my, I don't know, something's going on, man, with the car, and he's like, hey, I know a guy. He has a shop. He works on Mercedes Benz. That's what he does. I don't have to. I'm good now
You already
because
got
that
more
because
info though.
I'm saying because you know him, I'm good to go. And then all I say is, hey, slide me his number. That guy just got business. Don't know him. Don't
Thorough.
like. I'm good. Why? That recommendation is because of who he knew, which was you. I'm good to go. I don't need all. But you're right. There are a boatload of people who, hey, I need to know every inch of details. But for me, if I get there and his hands look like like he been kicking rocks and punching rocks, I'm good to go, bro. Yeah, you know what you're doing. You got that oil right there. I'm good. I'm good. Nah, but seriously, it just this is one of those things, man. It really depends on the individual.
Go
So
ahead.
what if his hands got that way because he was hanging out with the guy from the first story, finding a way to finesse to get
Yeah, that's a good point.
Look,
Scammers beat scamming, right?
bro, but that, hey, you keep your circle tight, right? You got individual that you can still obviously, in today you can still get scammed, but that's why I said consider the source. So if it's the right source, now if it's just some random dude off the street, oh yeah, I gotta go down the list. I'm checking reviews, all that stuff, right? But consider the source. If it's somebody I know, like, and trust, I'm going with what they say because I know they're not doing it to hurt me. Now, but you're right. Yeah, today's day, man, they'll get you. They'll line it up right and have you out on the street.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. No, I agree with you. I agree with that. Yeah, like you were gonna say earlier, right? It's a combined front, right? It's to me, it's like
No,
a
that's
whole. It's
real.
an attack, right? Of coming in at different angles.
yeah. I was gonna say I was gonna be the equalizer here. I like the fact that we're
Mm,
going back and forth about it because I feel like I would equate the resume and networking like the human body. You need your hands and you need your eyes. So one is the hand, one is like the eyes or the brain. They serve their purpose. But I was actually leaning towards networking during this whole conversation prior to this because of two different stories that I think I shared both with you actually, and one was with one of my mentors. He basically was in the you know networking on LinkedIn like crazy. And it got to the point that everybody within his department, potential department, they kind of knew him and like, why is he not working here? Like, we're talking to him all the time. He knows our business well. He's showing us that. They brought him in for an interview. He got through, got a job there. And they were like, the HR was chasing him because they had never had the resume. It was strictly through networking. Then there's another situation of somebody uh, that we might all know who literally talks about the story about how he got he before he even got to tech, he went to a networking event and then he basically he found somebody and that person loved him. That person was like, "You are amazing. What are you looking to do in tech?" He's like, I haven't done anything yet. I'm not even in tech yet." And she's like, I want you to be working for me." And eventually what happened was it passed crossed again. He got the opportunity to interview and he did terrible. Like to the point that they're like, "Oh, don't call us, we'll call you." But once
mm.
that person found out, like literally that he did interview and he did terrible, that person was like, "No, still hire him." And they're like, "What?" He did terrible, but he still got hired. So
Well, I know they was mad.
There was big man. And so there is a networking aspect, but you're absolutely right. When it comes down to it, like resume is what opens is like the key to that door. You know what I mean? So if even if you get through a networking, your resume has to kind of be able to be present and ready to go to validate all that you said that you could do. So they do play I think they play a very interesting role. It's just like in this day and age, I would have to lean towards net if I had to choose one, I would choose networking first and foremost because within your networking, you're also showing not just your personality and your charisma, but in certain conversations you are showing your expertise, which should be reflected on your resume. But listen,
Hold on
we
real quick, bro.
go ahead,
I
go ahead.
got one more. I just thought about it. How many times? Well, I don't know. I've been